Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking you on, well, a really fascinating journey. We're going to a specific corner of the world to understand the shifting landscape of education. We pulled together quite a bit of research, different documents, to explore the educational scenario in Nagrijuli. That's a region now nestled within Assam's newly formed Tamulpur district. Our mission today...
Oh wait, someone wants to join.
Yeah.
Hey, go for it.
Yeah, hello. It's Kameshwar Demari from Nagrijuli only, and thank you for joining with us. And I'll be just interacting with you in the time when you are discussing about, since I have provided almost.
Hello there. It's wonderful to have you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We're really glad you're here.
You know, it's listeners like you who make these deep dives so rewarding.
Absolutely. Your engagement means a lot to us.
We really appreciate you being a part of this conversation.
Please feel free to chime in anytime with your thoughts or questions.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
We're talking about Nagrijuli, and Assam's newly formed Tamulpur district.
Our focus is on unpacking the true story of its educational development.
We're looking at the challenges, the surprising progress, and its potential.
It's quite telling how one place can show broader truths about education.
And community development too, really.
We're connecting the dots from big administrative changes
To on-the-ground efforts.
and what it means for students' daily lives.
Okay, good. So let's unpack this.
We can start with the historical context, the impediments.
Our sources reveal persistent issues with infrastructure there.
Many schools, especially primary ones, lack adequate classrooms.
Or even proper sanitation facilities.
Some have only boys' toilets, no separate ones for girls.
Or things like broken boundary walls, just basic stuff.
Wow, yeah. That detail about the toilets, for instance.
You know, it seems so basic, but it's crucial.
How directly does that impact attendance, especially for girls?
It really raises...
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Actually, many of our say that the high schools and secondary schools, they do have that boundary wall, but only that lower primary school, they are lack all the boundary walls. And recently, they have submitted one demand to the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, regarding that one. You can highlight on this also.
That's fantastic insight, and thank you for sharing that direct experience.
Yeah, that really clarifies things, actually.
So it's specifically the lower primary schools that are struggling with the basic boundary walls.
That makes a lot of sense, and it aligns with what we were seeing.
It seems like those foundational needs are really concentrated in the earliest stages of education.
And it's great to hear that there's an organization actively addressing this.
Submitting a demand to the Human Services Department is a concrete step towards change.
That raises a crucial point about the foundational environment.
It shows where some of the most urgent needs really lie.
Right. And for those primary schools, no room to grow or add modern amenities.
Exactly. A lot of these schools rely on government or rent-free structures limiting expansion.
And
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, but my dear, we do have many of the schools, high schools and secondary schools. They do have some amenities and almost all the requirements with say, electricity and Wi-Fi and boundary walls, all this. You can highlight some schools about all this. Can you kindly mention all these schools with some facilities?
You are absolutely right to highlight that.
yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Our sources confirm exactly what you're saying.
Nagrijuli's educational story isn't just about challenges.
There are clear signs of progress and amazing facilities, too.
And we are actually about to dive into those schools.
We want to acknowledge that it's a mixed picture.
And your input helps us emphasize that balance.
So while some primary schools face those infrastructure gaps,
Like the boundary walls you mentioned earlier.
there are indeed institutions that are quite well equipped.
For example, the newly upgraded Kotarbury Higher Secondary School. It's right in the heart of Nagrijuli.
It's really ushering in a new dimension for education there.
They've got digital boards, podiums, even free Wi-Fi connection.
That's quite a leap, especially when we think about those basic needs elsewhere,
And what's also noteworthy is the diversity of institutions.
cropping up to meet different needs in the community.
So alongside government schools, there's Nagrijuli Senior Secondary School.
It caters to about 500 students, mostly with arts education.
You also have a range of private institutions making a difference.
Places like St. Jude's High School, Starland High School, Sunshine High School.
And Sakardev Academy, Dakya Vidalia are all playing a significant role.
They're filling gaps and providing options, which is definitely interesting to see.
There's also the upgraded Adarsa Vidalia, now up to class 9.
It operates under a public-private partnership system.
And with a CBSE curriculum, that's India's Central Board of Secondary Education.
Right, known for its standardized framework, which can be a real benefit for quality.
So to your point, yes, there's significant progress.
But inconsistent electricity can still hinder digital learning tools elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Beyond physical stuff, Human resources matter greatly.
Socioeconomic factors also play a critical role, as we've seen.
Here's where it gets really striking, I think, for the whole region,
Our research shows poverty often forces children to drop out.
especially from tea garden communities or low-income households, which is heartbreaking.
They leave school to help with family income or do chores.
It's a tragic trade-off for so many families, unfortunately.
And if, yep, go on.
Yeah, actually, most of the parents are very poor in our area, and they cannot afford to send the children to the only private schools, which
You
are
hit on
yeah,
such a
asking
crucial
all
point
this.
there.
Yeah, that really underlines the core of the challenge.
Our sources absolutely confirm what you're saying about poverty.
It's the most pervasive barrier mentioned in the research,
It creates this immense pressure on families.
where the economic need unfortunately overrides educational aspirations.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture,
Things like parental illiteracy or lack of awareness,
that compounds these challenges.
leading to low attendance and tragically high dropout rates,
It's a cycle that's incredibly hard to break.
especially when parents can't afford basic necessities.
And then on top of that, there's often an absence.
Of structured home tutoring or local academic support systems,
So many students really struggle with foundational concepts.
they're left without a safety net.
That lack of support outside school hours is really key for success.
It's hard for them to catch up when they fall behind. Another specific gap highlighted directly linked to this is the lack of technical and science education.
Because if you can't afford to send your child to a private school,
Or for private tutoring, those opportunities are simply out of reach,
students wanting that path have to look elsewhere for now.
which is a huge barrier for those from lower income families.
But as you rightly pointed out earlier, there are many positive developments and efforts that go beyond.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, again, I am now on the mic only. Can you suggest me how to improve the educational scenario in Nagrijuli area, especially for the poor children, with their own what they are existing?
That's a fantastic and crucial question, and it really gets to the heart of what we're discussing today.
Yeah, you're asking about practical solutions for the most vulnerable children.
Based on our research, a multifaceted approach seems to be the most effective way forward.
First, addressing those basic needs you've highlighted, like school infrastructure,
Ensuring there are proper facilities, including those boundary walls for primary schools.
and separate toilets for girls, as you mentioned earlier, is absolutely foundational.
Because if children don't feel safe or comfortable, they won't attend.
And as you pointed out, parental poverty is a massive barrier,
So programs that provide incentives for families could be key.
like financial support or even just school meal programs.
Anything that eases the economic burden so kids don't have to drop out.
Remedial support is also vital for those struggling.
Organizations like Tata Trusts, mentioned in our sources, are doing this
They specifically try to bring children back into school.
and provide that extra help they need to catch up.
This is especially important for those foundational concepts you talked about.
You know, the ones where students often lack home tutoring.
And then community engagement, like what your organization is doing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I am taking a mic now. Actually, the organization like the student organization, they are taking proactive in assuring the education scenario of the area, like FSU, Adivasi Students Union, Bengali Student Union, and all Assam Students Union. All they are taking proactively, along with the Gorkha Students Union. They are doing a lot to improve the educational scenario of Nagrijuli.
Thank you so much for highlighting that. That's incredibly valuable information.
That's amazing to hear about the proactive role these student organizations are playing.
You're absolutely right to emphasize the power of local initiatives.
It's fantastic to know that groups like the All Adivasi Students Union,
And All Assam Students Union are taking such direct action.
along with the All Assam Gorkha Students Union, as you mentioned,
Our sources actually back you up on this.
they specifically mention the AGSU, the All Adivasi Students Union.
And the All Bengali Students Union through their Nagrijuli Anchalik Committee.
They all emphasize education as a core tenet for empowering their communities.
It's that community ownership. Oh, go for it.
Yeah, but beyond that, all Bodo Students Union, they are say nowadays since it's summer, they are taking that free coaching for 1 month, providing good teachers from the area, and the local students are attending to the classes, to their coaching is a appreciable approach. Can you just highlight on that?
Wow, that's an incredible detail and so important to highlight.
Thank you so much for bringing up the Alboto Students Union.
Their initiative with free coaching during the summer is precisely the kind of proactive community effort we were hoping to shed light on.
Providing good teachers and support for local students,
It's an absolutely crucial way to address those academic support gaps.
especially for
Sure.
children whose families, as you mentioned, can't afford private tutoring.
It directly tackles that challenge of foundational concepts.
And it complements the efforts of organizations like Tata Trust that focus on remedial support.
Because it's not just about what the government provides, is it?
It's truly vital for sustained success.
It's about what the community does for itself, too.
And as you mentioned earlier, addressing those foundational needs.
Like the boundary walls at primary schools is part of this.
It's a collaborative effort from all angles.
What's also clear is that efforts need to go beyond just the schools themselves
Programs by organizations like Tata Trusts also highlight community engagement.
and really focus on providing that crucial back to our listener. What's up?
It is again kindness once more. So thank you for giving the opportunity to talk to you. So again, you see that there are some private institutes like computer centers in Nagrijuli. So can you just highlight on that? They are giving a crucial role for technical education, short and long-term courses.
Thank you again for joining us and for bringing that up.
You're absolutely right to draw our attention to those private institutes.
We were just about to highlight them ourselves, actually.
They're playing an incredibly crucial role, especially for technical education.
Because as you pointed out earlier, Nagrijuli greatly lacks in that area.
Formal science and technical institutions are a real necessity.
And these private computer centers are stepping up to fill that gap.
We're talking about places like CSC Academy at Baltapar, Hatarbari.
And BCE at Bazaar Chowk and EMAX at College Chowk.
They're providing essential short-term and long-term computer literacy education.
This is so important, especially when we consider that economic barrier you mentioned.
Families who can't afford private schools or extensive tutoring.
These centers offer accessible pathways to vital skills. It really shows how grassroots initiatives can be key to plugging those specialized skill gaps in the community. Definitely plugging a hole there, especially when formal options are limited. And this ties back to the broader picture of community-led solutions. Just like the free coach.
Hey, yeah.
Except, lastly, once more, I would like to just request you, can you just highlight this one message to our government body, like that local body, BTR government, and the government of Assam, how to beginning of the new scientific institution, science college would do a great to enhance the educational scenario of this Nagrijuli area. And kindly, what steps should they take? Because I'm going to just publish this into the media. Can you just kindly send me a message for that?
Wow, that's a powerful request, and we're happy to echo it.
You're calling for concrete action from government body like BTR and the government of Assam.
Specifically to establish new scientific institutions and science colleges in Nagrijuli.
And you're asking what steps they should take to achieve that.
It's an absolutely critical point you're raising.
Our sources actually confirm that Nagrijuli significantly lacks technical and science education.
So the need for these institutions is truly a must, as you said.
The current private computer institutes, while valuable, can't fully replace a formal college.
So what steps could the government take?
First, a detailed needs assessment would be crucial.
Understanding the specific demand for science and technical fields among students.
And then, securing adequate funding would be paramount. This could involve allocating specific district funds.
Or seeking state level and even central government grants for education.
They would also need to identify suitable land and infrastructure.
Potentially upgrading existing facilities or building.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Actually, we have already made request to our local MLA, Jolen Devari also, just to introduce the science education there. And the request has been met to the Chief Minister also.
That is fantastic to hear.
That's a crucial piece of information.
It shows that the community is already taking direct action.
You're not just waiting for things to happen, you're driving the change.
Making requests to local representatives like MLA Jolene Delivery.
That's precisely the kind of citizen engagement we were just talking about.
It's how real progress gets made on the ground.
It connects directly to our earlier point about community involvement.
And how essential it is for sustainable educational development.
Because it's not just about what the government provides, is it?
It's about what the community does for itself too.
So, on top of making those requests, what other steps could they take?
Well, the government could also consider building new facilities.
And, critically, attracting qualified educators and faculty,
Perhaps offering incentives for teachers to work in the region.
especially those specializing in science and technical fields.
Lastly, integrating the local community into the planning process is key.
Just like you're doing now by bringing this to public attention.
Because it's clear from our Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for interaction today and having joined together discussion here regarding the educational scenario in Nagrijuli. And thanks a lot. And can you just let me a message for the all community, all the people of Assam, since I'm going to publish this discussion in the social forum. Can you just give a nice message? I request this.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today.
Your contributions have been incredibly insightful.
You've really helped us paint a more complete picture of Nagrijuli.
And it's fantastic that you're going to share this discussion.
Publishing it for a wider audience is so important.
It amplifies the voices and efforts we've been talking about.
And it directly supports the goal of getting new science institutions.
Just like the request to MLA Jolene delivery.
Your input really underscores that community involvement is essential.
Think about the impact of the Alberta Students Union's free coaching.
Or the work your own organization is doing with those boundary walls.
It's all part of this incredible collaborative effort.
Beyond these, our sources show other tangible improvements are happening too.
Things like constructing improved toilet blocks.
There's that crucial sanitation issue, again, thankfully being addressed.
At places like Nagrijuli Junior College, for example.
Or providing essential classroom furniture.
And distributing computers for learning.
These are practical things, on the ground help.
Things that truly make a real difference in daily school life.
So beyond those powerful student unions and institutes you've told us about,
Other community organizations are stepping up too.
groups like Aragnac are contributing, for instance,
Through environmental education and capacity building for the community.
maybe indirectly help.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining with us and me. I'm very happy to get you here in the discussion together. And thank you both my respected guests, Mr. Zach and Miss Mary. Thank you for this joining here again. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. It's truly been our pleasure.
Yeah, we're really grateful for your amazing contributions today.
Your insights have been absolutely invaluable to this discussion.
You've helped